All right, so if you're going to be putting a new tank on from start to finish, let's run through this real quick. You've got your new tank. You want to take all the fuel that's in the old one out. You got a couple of choices. You can put something underneath of it to catch the fuel and drain it all out. Out in the field, what I had to do at one point was get a shovel and dig a little bit of a hole, stick a barrel down there low enough, put a funnel on top of the barrel, open it up, and drain the fuel out. That'll work. It's not elegant. It's kind of a pain, but it works. Get all your fuel drained out. Then you want to get up underneath of here and take this access panel off. You can open this up and get to the part where you drain it. But if you want to take that access panel off first, those are 19mm bolts that hold it on. You remove that. Then you're going to need 24mm bit to take the bolts that hold this tank underneath those four corners. That's a 24mm. You're going to need to take off the access panel right here. That's a 19mm bolt on the top here, and then two more inside the toolbox. Then you're going to disconnect this sending unit. You probably want to feed that cable back into the toolbox to protect it. You remove those two return lines that are on the back of the tank. And you remove the fuel line that's here. At this point in time, this thing is almost ready to go. Take off the rails. You're going to want to take off the railing, the whole railing, to get it out of the way. That's 19mm. Get those all out of the way. Remove your tank. Put your new one back on. Reverse the entire process, and you are ready to rock and roll. So all I have left to do is transfer the fuel back into the tank. Make sure that I've got enough fuel to cover up here. But once I get a little bit of fuel in the tank, the first thing I'm going to do is drain off anything that might have been left inside that little valve down there, just to make sure that I'm not taking a problem with me. And then I'm going to try and get this puppy started. I've got an inline filter in here because I don't want that bad stuff that was in the old tank going back into my fuel system. So I want to put as clean a source of fuel in here as I can. Now, we put everything back together after putting the tank on here, but we can't fire it up just yet. There's one more thing that you have to do, and this is something you have to do if you ever run out of fuel and stall the machine out because you've run out of diesel. Right here is this little valve. You got to unscrew this. You got to be strong enough to unscrew it first. There we go. All right. All right. That is a spring actuated pump. What you're doing is you're bringing fuel through the line. You're priming the system. You can see down in there, just now the first bit of pink fuel came into that filter that I put in line, which means it is putting pressure on it, it's sucking at it, and it's bringing that fuel up here. And so I'm going to wait until there's a little bit of fuel runs over up here. When that happens, I know the lines are full. Here we go. Now I'm starting to feel it, starting to get some pressure to it. There we go. And you can see the first bit of fuel start to overflow on there. At that point, we're done. You're gonna push it in and screw it back down. Fasten it snugly. Now, you are ready to start your machine. So I just got a big old smile from my wife and a congratulatory kiss because she's so happy to hear it running like this. It is purring. This is what it's supposed to sound like. So I'm gonna run this machine for a little bit just to make sure everything is what it needs to be. If I can get a good 5-10 minutes of running it over here. This is a debris pile that has a bunch of volunteer crap that's jumped up to try and grow. I'm gonna go get over into this thing and just start grabbing stuff and knocking down some of the junk trees that we don't want to get rooted up. I'm a happy camper. If you've watched this far into the whole thing, my guess is you can appreciate an excavator and you can appreciate the work that went into getting it repaired. If I showed you something that you enjoyed, especially if you learned something, please hit the like button. Go ahead and share it with somebody who can appreciate it. And I welcome you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. It helps us, it's helping the channel. As it stands right now, making this video, I think I've got 12 subscribers. We're on a roll, baby. But most of what we do on this channel is related to farm work, a DIY home build that's getting ready to start, and starting a farm from scratch. This was all for us when we got here. There's a whole lot of work to do. It's gonna be a lot of digging, moving, a lot of farm work. I'm gonna make some mistakes. I'm gonna be honest about it and share the mistakes that I make so other people won't make them. Like I said, go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button, and we'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna jump back up in here and do a little more.